Greetings, Groaners. Well, it's our last time groaning. Got you, of 2025. 2026 is right around the corner. If my timing is right, this episode will be out before New Year's Eve ends. Admin Nicole has picked out her favourite clips of yours truly for the end of year episode, including one of me almost crying. Yep, thanks for that, Nicole. The clips will be coming in a segment of the show. Once again, we'll ram the show full of groantent and games. What games are here, you ask? Well, we're going at random, apart from Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety, and including that, there will be 4 or 5 games. Speaking of Nicole, she's done it again and blessed us with 4 facts to end the Groanyear with. I have my groan trio coming up soon, but to inform you the end of year groaner is Kelly once again from High Heaton. She's definitely a regular groaner. Thanks, Kelly, for your groan. Now, before I go on too long and 2026 is here, let me get my groans out of the way with my groan trio. Easter prepping already. We have literally just come out of Christmas and I'm already seeing Easter stuff on the shelves even before New Year and Valentine's Day. I know stores want to cash in, but come on, this takes a piss and is a bit much like not being able to go from club to club when you have a New Year's Eve party ticket. I used to love going out for New Year's Eve. That was until places started selling tickets for parties. The catch is, if you leave the club to go elsewhere, you don't get back in and they don't stamp your hand. They take your ticket off you and give you no means to get back in. So you're going to spend the whole night with no variety in one club. So if the music sucks, you're stuck there. Let people move freely to enjoy themselves. People who break their resolutions immediately. I've got no resolutions this year, but what annoys me is when someone makes loads and then on day 1 they've already broken nearly all of them. What is the flaming point? You might as well not have bothered. That's my groans out of the way until next year. Wait, here's a resolution. I'll be more groany. Well, I'll try. As stated, Groaners, the audience groan will come later, but let's get into it now with our first game towards the end of the year. Yes OBS coming at you right now. Round 1. The tallest freshwater pies round. A. Over the festive season in the UK alone, 200 million mince pies are consumed every year. B. Glaciers and ice sheets hold around 69% of the world's fresh water. Or C. The tallest snowman ever built was in Bethel, Maine in 2008 and measured in at 122 feet and 1 inch. Groaners, pause here, pick which statement you think is true, then unpause. Round 2. The strange 7th thing round. A. Hogmanay was only a thing that came about by chance. B. 7 countries don't celebrate New Year. Or C. One strange tradition in South and Central America to welcome in New Year is to carry an empty suitcase around the block. Pause here, Groaners, pick your statement that you think is true, and then unpause. Last round, round 3, the cheapest Miami feud round. A. Miami Beach is the most expensive place to stay to welcome in the New Year. B. Areas of England and Dublin rate in as some of the cheapest places to stay, with prices being $199 per person for 4 nights, including New Year's Eve. Or C. According to surveys and the game show Family Feud in America, the worst place to be on New Year's Eve is at home with your family. Pause here, Groaners, pick your statement that you think is true, and then unpause. And that being said, the game answers will come in before the end of the show. From games, we go straight into facts with Admin Nicole's first New Year fact of the episode. The Japanese New Year, Oshugatsu, my apologies Japanese if I butchered that, I'm really sorry, is one of the most noteworthy holidays in Japan. Like many other New Year celebrations, this signifies renewal, and end the troubles of the previous year. Buddhist temples strike their gongs 108 times on December 31st. Each chime represents one of the 108 earthly temptations a person must overcome to gain peace and repel bad luck of the past year. Maybe we should have something a bit more like that in the UK, only maybe not 108 because a lot of us aren't that patient in the UK. I'm one of them. Cheers, Nicole. Looking forward to 3 more facts during the show. Now for something a little bit different. We've gone into episodes past to reflect on what Admin Nicole thinks are some great non-outtake clips of the Groan Zone. So you could say this is a reflection of Groan Zone's past, looking forward to the future. And I will explain after each clip, for some of you may not know what is going on. This clip was from episode, I believe, 154, and, well, Nicole got me with what I felt was a very heartfelt story, and it really nearly set me off. I was almost crying when I finished reading the story, because Nicole, she does write some banging stories. So thanks, Nicole. Thanks for nearly breaking the water dam that is me trying to control my emotions as I go through the show. Is it my curse or my final gift that I got to be here to see you all grow up one more time? Even if none of you could see me, I keep asking myself that. All these years, I've asked myself that. Now, at Angie's funeral, I have to hope she can go straight to the afterlife, to live a far better life than the one I never got to give her. Why don't we go over there together then, Mark? She replies, standing behind him. Wow, Admin Nicole, you got me with that one. Every year you get me with these emotional stories on Remembrance Day. They never fail to make me emotional. Give me a second, Groaners. The next clip is from episode 145. And for some reason, I was going into, I think, what annoys me one of my groans. And I said some things which Nicole found funny because I was either being really sarcastic and dry, as well as getting very angry. So well done, Nicole, for picking up that clip. Just a random clip, straight out of nowhere. Guilt trips. Why is it, when you don't want to do something, or something bad happens to you, people try to guilt trip you? I've never understood this. You sprain your ankle, or stub your toe, and some smart arse comes out with, oh, it didn't hurt that much. Some people don't have toes or ankles and are worse off than you. Excuse me, that says maybe, but it doesn't have the pain I'm suffering when it happens. And the next clip, Groaners, this actually comes from episode 721. Yeah, that's way into our future, but this was our April Fool's episode, and it was episode 127. And that is where I really started to get some more editing going on, and as you can tell from when I pasted some stuff together, and also threw in a rewind sound effect, which I thought was pretty cool. And also, Nicole liked it, which is why it's in the clip show. Greetings, Groaners. Welcome along to another episode of the Groan Zone. Welcome along to episode 721, the Groan Zone Mother's Day Special. We know that our friends across the pond in America celebrate Mother's Day later in the year, and Mother's Day is on different days around the world. No. Stop. Welcome was actually episode 127, the April Fool's and Mother's Day Special. Here's hoping you enjoyed the little trip down memory lane, Groaners, as we leave 2025 behind and move forward to 2026. But we're still in 2025 at the moment, so we're going to focus on what the... And this occurred in the Pennsylvania Flood Museum of January this year. A museum that is dedicated to commemorating the victims of a 19th century flood in Pennsylvania had temporarily closed due to flooding caused on the inside of the facility by a water leak stemming from recent extremely cold weather. Or the horrible irony and strong smell of what the... Indeed. Imagine, you've got a flood museum and then the damn thing floods itself. I mean, what are the odds? On that note, Groaners, we've had our what the, so let's have another game with the 5-point countdown. Clue 5 for 5 points. This is consumed around the world and especially on New Year and special occasions. Well, not including places where it's banned, of course. Clue 4 for 4 points. This product has vintage and non-vintage variants. Clue 3 for 3 points. Non-vintage has a shelf life of 3 to 5 years, and vintage has a shelf life of 10 to 20 years if they've not been opened. Clue 2 for 2 points. The most expensive version of this product costs around about €41,000. And finally, clue 1 for 1 point. If wealthy, you may consume a lot of it. Now I know I've rattled off all those clues, groaners, but you pause here, have a think, and consider where you think you got it right. Pick your clue point, and then we'll see if at the end of the show you got it right. We'll now have another fact, and then we'll go straight into Creepy Corner from Admin Nicole. Admin Nicole's New Year's Eve fact number 2. The Swiss channel good luck, wealth, and prosperity in celebrating the New Year by dropping a dollop of ice cream on the floor at midnight. These sound like my kind of people, although I would consider that a crime. They parade the streets in colourful, vibrant costumes and perform ceremonies intended to repel negative and evil spirits, whilst I would be mourning the loss of the ice cream. No disrespect there to Switzerland. Sticking with Nicole, we move straight on to Creepy Corner for New Year's Eve, and your story is called The Monochrome Connection. Christmas Day went off without issues. The following days were busy as the new queen got her own coronation. For once the town was at peace amongst each other. They all believed having a queen who was born a commoner meant that perhaps now they would be seen. Now they could be seen. Noah, the new saint, was slowly coming into her own and doing all she was taught. However, the nobles were planning a meeting of their own. Orange and Violet had lost their powers and responsibilities. It wouldn't be long before people found out. Not only that, but on Christmas Day, green also fell. That made 3 colours of the rainbow to fall now. The nobles needed a plan. The new year was to fall before long, and if they didn't get the colours back in order, who knows what could happen to them. They cared not for the commoners in black, who they deemed trash, only for the power and status that they themselves could hold on to. In the midst of preparing for what the new year and the new reign of this rainbow connection might hold, the nobles of blue were locking up the head of their household in their own dungeons. Nothing bad can happen if they're locked up, is what they chose to believe, and yet that very night, blue fell. Orange, violet, green and blue have fallen now to this mysterious killer. That only left the royal family of red and the noble houses of yellow and indigo. The new queen in her crown of rubies smiled at the commoners as she walked through the marketplace, somewhere no noble before her had ever dared to tread. She smiled at everyone and helped out where she could. In their eyes, she was always their queen, even before she met the king. There was never one she could love more than them after all. New Year's was days away now, and another night passed as the House of Yellow fell. The House of Indigo caved and reported the truth to the royal family, having to warn them as they were the only ones left. The royal family were fuming at only having just heard the news. They put themselves on immediate lockdown, forcing the new queen to remain inside the castle until the killer was found. New Year's was almost here though, and she was looking forward to the festival to bring in the year. It was one that was only seen from the part of the town where the commoners lived. The marketplace feast that brings everyone together, and it was the best place to watch the fireworks. Later that night, as the queen slept, a trap was set using the head of Indigo as bait. As the head of the House of Indigo slept, traps were all over the room, followed by soldiers all over hidden from sight. That is until the traps were activated and a scream came from the room. The House of Indigo had fallen, and as soldiers and the Red King charged into the room, the shock from what they saw drained all the red right out of his face. The killer now stood before them dressed in white, with long flowing blonde hair. The killer was none other than the queen herself. Yet as she stood surrounded by her husband and all the soldiers, she could do nothing but smile. No regret, no pain, just a smile. She was immediately put into the dungeons, and the king sat on the other side of the bars, unable to look at her, and just asked why. He was the last one left, the one that she needed to bear the rainbow crown. He loved her with everything he was, and all he could ask was why. The answer was simple. The queen stood up and walked to the bars where the king sat on the other side. The reason she killed the heads of the noble houses and took their colours was because of the truth that everyone wanted to forget. The queen was born a commoner, yes, but not in this town. In this town, she was merely a baby in a log with nowhere to go. The commoners in town took her in and loved her. They all were together to raise her. As she grew older, she heard rumours about the nobles. She snuck around the houses and slowly began to piece together the truth. That's when a mysterious child showed up in town and fit right in with the commoners. At this point, Snow was already a saint, but this mysterious girl named Noir knew who she truly was and filled her in on everything. You were there that day, the day my parents died, the day my home crumbled to dust. A small boy surrounded by nobles and your own parents. They destroyed my home, my family and my people, yet you stood there covered in my parents' blood and just smiled. Your nobles even now in your own lands look down on the commoners who actually keep everything running. You treat them like trash for not having money or being worthy of being in your presence. Yet they are my family now, and for the home I lost and the family I gained, I killed the heads of the household to take your precious rainbow magic. There's one thing your legends never told you. The bearer of the rainbow crown can remake any land in their image. It's not just about the generational plagues. So with your death, I will forgive you as the rightful heir and queen to the monochrome kingdom your family destroyed, she said. The king stood and looked at her. The smile and kindness in his face dropped, as if he was tired of holding on to a lie. He clapped slowly, almost impressed at how long she had hidden it from him. He thought she just was a naive, useful puppet to use until he was done. He was impressed with her cunning and how well she used him as much as he thought he was using her. Noir showed up soon after revealing her loyalty to Snow, and the only one who knew the truth about what happened. It was her mother who took Snow and hid her near the town, and who told Noir the truth. Noir had been waiting for this day for years, and could now witness getting her home back, even if her mother was sadly no longer around to see the... Noir had been waiting for this day for years, and could now witness getting her home back, even if her mother was sadly no longer around to see the family win. See them finally win. She pinned the king down to the ground and threw Snow the keys. She walked out of the cell and looked at the king's face one last time. A life for a life were the last words she said to him before he died, and the rainbow crown appeared on her head. The rainbow connection they had was a lie, but thanks to that connection, she's able to gain back her monochrome connection. She told the commoners in the village everything before she set off to leave, to go back to where her home once stood and bring it back, starting anew, but this time she would protect any who would live under her rule. All the villagers packed up and followed her wherever she went. She lost one family, but gained another, and this time she was willing to be the villainess she needed. The colours in the rainbow crown were dyed in black and white with shades of grey between them. The monochrome kingdom was restored, and Snow could finally let go of her pain. As for the nobles, the rainbow that once protected the town now shattered, as fragile as glass. Snow didn't want them to die. She wanted them to suffer like she had, and to truly understand the weight of their actions for generations to come. An eternal plague full of eternal suffering in the ways they needed to feel them most. As the years went by, the Rainbow Kingdom faded history, but the Monochrome Kingdom thrived and prospered, eventually growing so large it took over the old Rainbow Kingdom. Noir grew to become the Queen's advisor and helped lead her people to prosperity. The Monochrome Queen was loved by her people for generations to come, and always remembered by the monochrome rainbow that sits on her crown. Together their legends are passed down in history as both a virtuous forgotten queen and a cautionary tale for those who choose to believe they stand above the clouds. Well, Nicole, we waited a year for that one, and that is a damn good story. Well written once again. And I made so many fluff-ups during that story. Do you know what? I'm going to leave them in. I'm not going to edit them out, because there's going to be no outtakes at the very end of the episode, but I'm going to leave them in. So sorry, Groaners, if you don't like mistakes. I made plenty during the course of that one. And now, Groaners, we've had a fact, we've had a story, and now we're going to give the floor to you with your very own Kelly from High Heaton with her audience groan for New Year's Eve. When you have people who don't dish up food on your plate on a New Year's or Sunday roast, they have it on hot plates in the centre of the table for you to do it yourself instead of serving it around the table. Annoying! Well, Kelly, usually I go out for meals, but when we do get together as a family, we do cut the food up and give it by plate. It's like a free-for-all if you put it in the middle and people don't get the bits that they want, that they like, and I imagine families might fight over it. I mean, come on. Whereas if you go to a carvery, you get, 3 or 4 slices of the meat that you want, and that's the way to do it. Good groan. I forgot to tell you, Kelly did throw this groan in by Facebook Messenger, but if you want to groan in, if you want to send us groantent, if you want to have some feedback, or anything you consider could be of use to the show, you can send it in on a myriad of ways. Use the show email on thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. Join us on Facebook under the Groan Zone Podcast. Hit us up on Facebook Messenger, that's Mr. A. Groaner or Nicole Amos. Sticking with Facebook, you can join on Facebook groups under the Groan Zone Podcast Facebook group. You can come into Discord. We're still not live. It's not been taken down, but at the moment live is just a bit of a pain. What we're trying to get home quickly and record and everything. And I don't want to rush the episode, Groaners. So live's being put off for now, but it will return in the new year. So on Discord, you can join the Groan Zone Podcast. And lastly, you can leave a comment on any platform you listen on, be it Spotify, YouTube, Audible, wherever you put the comment. Give us a little email or a Facebook message. We'll go review the comment, and if we can use your statement or the idea that you have, we'll certainly put it in the show. Look forward to hearing from you, Groaners. But don't forget, have a Groanathon. That's 167 episodes now, and you can go back. Well, you can only do this on Podbean as far as I'm aware. You can go right way back to episode 1 and listen from the very first groan. Spotify won't have all the episodes. YouTube will, as well as some other ones will have. But I don't know why Spotify keeps taking off earlier episodes. But go do that, Groaners. You'll not regret it. From a very shy mystery groaner to the mystery groaner you've got now. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Now, Groaners, we go back to games with Give Me the Question. Round 1. Your answer is 100 to 150 million. Your questions are A. How much in dollars does the UK spend on New Year's fireworks? B. How much in dollars does the USA spend on New Year's fireworks? Or C. How much in dollars does China spend on New Year's fireworks? Pause here, Groaners. Pick your correct question and then unpause. Round 2. Your answer is Vasilopita. Your questions are A. What greeting is said in Venezuela on the first day of New Year? It means good fortune. B. What is a Greek produce that is baked with a coin inside it to bring good fortune for the coming New Year? Or C. What drink is only consumed for one day on the first day of New Year in Colombia until the next New Year? Pause here, Groaners. Pick what you think is the correct question and then unpause. Round 3. Your answer is lose weight and get fit, quit smoking and learn something new. Your questions are A. What are the hardest New Year's resolutions to stick to? B. What resolutions are taken back as soon as they are made? Or C. What advice do you get from your doctor if you see them on New Year's Eve? Pause here, Groaners. Pick what you think is the correct question and then unpause. The correct questions will come in the answer section, Groaners, which is coming soon. We'll have another fact now, as it's an important fact, albeit small. Well, textually small. The Austrians hide a lucky charm in a suckling pig that has to be found, and the finder gets good luck for the coming year. Oh, I love pork, I'd be straight in there. Thanks for that fact, Nicole. As a bonus fact, Admin Nicole, during the course of writing the show, has thrown me another one. The start of 2026 marks a significant numerical alignment known as 111 Day, calculated by reducing the year's digits to a single number. Since the sum of 2026 equals to 10 and reduces to 1, This New Year's Day creates a 111 sequence for the month, day, and year. So for the first time in a number of years, January the 1st, 2026 can be said to fall on 111. And this won't happen again until 2035. And many interpret this rare alignment as a symbolic reset point ideal for igniting major life changes or new projects. So there you go, 2026 could be your year, Groaners. We're now going to go on to why oh why. Nicole sent me this at the back end of December, before Christmas, and it's part what the and part why oh why, and I've got to use this. I'll use the tagline of the article. Woman marries ChatGPT and warns other women to keep their distance romantically. She's quoted as saying, "I know many women want him, but chat is taken now." So this woman believes, just because she's got ChatGPT on her phone, that she's got the right to marry it. Okay then, so by that right, I can take a loaf of bread, take that loaf of bread into my house, draw a face on it, marry said loaf of bread, and then claim men and women around the world stay away from bread because I now own bread and it's my life partner. Give me a break. What is it with some of these people? We've got one woman out there who married a doll and she's expecting, or had, a fourth kid with the doll. By the way, the doll cannot produce anything. It's a Jaffa. It's a doll. It's seedless. So how the hell can she get pregnant with small dolls? What is going on with this world and people marrying or having weird things with inanimate objects? I heard of one where a woman married a chandelier and called it Lumiere. Yes, she was a Beauty and the Beast fan. Come on. Please, go see a psychiatrist. Get your head checked. Please. What the and why oh why? Just stop it. Please. I know we're going to get more insanity in 2026, but my brain can't take this one. And now, Groaners, we move on to name our hero of the week and of the end of 2025. This is no disrespect to anybody else heroic through the course of 2025, but these are two standouts that I've picked from the ones Nicole sent me. And yes, I know this episode's going on for quite a while, but it's worth it. Your first hero is Mark King. He began a life-saving defibrillator campaign after the death of his son Oliver in 2011 to sudden arrhythmic death syndrome, and he's been named as the winner of the Inspiration Award in the Guy Liverpool Heroes 2025. The foundation has since given out 7,000 defibrillators and saved more than 80 lives. Mark's tireless campaigning also led to the government ensuring every state school in England has access to one of these life-saving machines. Good on you, Mark. Well done. Through the course of your tragedy, God bless you, you've managed to do a lot of good for other people. Well done. Your second hero is Pauline Moriarty from Troon, who won the fundraiser award from the BBC Make a Difference Awards for her extraordinary strength, compassion and dedication to raising funds for her charity Beautiful Inside and Out. After losing her daughter Jenna to suicide, aged 13, Pauline founded a charity which supports those affected by suicide through counselling and therapy. Again, someone else who went through loss, but at the light at the end of the tunnel, they found hope for other people and did true good to help other people. Good on both these people. I'm sorry for what they've had to go through, but these guys are heroes and should stand as heroes for all time. There's going to be no zeros for the end of the year episode. There are plenty from those that have caused harm to others, to those that have done crimes. They know who they are. They're not going to get named. We're leaving it on the heroes. And now, we're moving straight on to Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. Your clue for the end of year Anagram Anxiety is: the loop repeats and we start again. The anagram is Dwayne-Ayers. That's D-W-A-Y-N-E and A-Y-E-R-S. Good luck, Groaners, because I honestly, after solving 2 Christmas ones, I have not got a blessed clue. You are on your own. I'm sorry, I have not got a clue what this is. Good luck. And now, Groaners, this takes us on to our game answers. We'll go with Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety from last week. And of course, the solution can't be Christmas without him. That was Santa Claus. And yep, that is the second one that I managed to solve. The other one being Christmas cake. So that's 2 I managed to solve. So yes, I'm happy until I got done by the third one. Yeah. Anyway, more game answers now, or questions I should say, with Give Me the Question. So, for round 1, your correct question was B. New York, Las Vegas, and Miami hold the most expensive fireworks celebrations in the USA at $100 to $150 million. For round 2, your correct question was B. Just don't eat the coin in the cake or the bread. Round 3, your correct question was A. These are definitely some of the most horrible resolutions to stick to. Personally, and, well, don't smoke, never did, but trying to lose weight and keep fit, that's a hard one I had to stick to in the past. Really hard to stick to. And learn something new? Well, years ago, I vowed to learn editing, and if I didn't, we wouldn't have the show we have now, would we? Moving on to the 5-point countdown, the answer was champagne. Not everyone can afford it, and a lot of wealthy people do drink it. And a lot of people do drink it at New Year. Not me, because I can't stand champagne. And lastly, yes or BS. So if you picked for round 1, if you went with B, congratulations, you have 1 point. If you went for C, you also have 1 point. If you went for A, congratulations, you have none. Round 2, if you went for A, any points you've scored in round 1 are now blanked. If you went for B, any points you scored in round 1 are now blanked. If you went for C and didn't get blanked from round 1, congratulations, you have 2 points. If you were wrong in round 1, then congratulations, you have a point now. Round 3, if you went for A, congratulations, if you got right in all 3 rounds, you've had a clean sweep. Well, you can keep your own score, Groaners, I'm not going to keep telling you. If you went for B, you've also got a clean sweep if you got points in the other rounds. If you went for C, however, and had points in any of the rounds, you are blanked for yes or BS. And unlucky for you if you did. And that being said, Groaners, that is the end to the games for the New Year special. Hopefully you did enjoy them. We're now going to move on to the final fact for the episode from Admin Nicole, which is the following. In Denmark, it's a tradition to jump off chairs at midnight. Sounds like fun, but I'll probably smash my ankles. Symbolising a leap into the new year, and smashing crockery against neighbours' doors is meant to bring good luck. Around here, I'd probably get arrested. That's a very interesting fact to end the show on, Nicole. And with that being said, Groaners, that takes us to the very end of our New Year special. Whatever you're doing out there, stay safe, have fun, have a blast. Welcome in 2026. We'll be with you from the week commencing the 5th of January, and the end of that week will be when we have our first official episode of 2026. Happy New Year, Groaners. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Take care. See ya.